John Cena is gone. That chapter is closed. Now the wrestling industry has to stand on its own 2 feet. Let's get it. What's good, everybody? It's MFG DeeZ, and this is episode 8 of the Crimson Mass Show. We're going to address John Cena's retirement quickly. Then we're going to get into Raw, NXT, SmackDown, and AEW because the future was on full display this week. Let's address the elephant in the room right off bat because there's a ton of people pissed off, particularly at Triple H. Now, do I think that Triple H was the primary decision maker behind John Cena losing his last match at Saturday night's main event against Gunther? No, I think that was 100% on Cena. So I think fans have their anger directed in the wrong direction. Yes, maybe Triple H could have said, no, John, we're going to go this way. He could have overruled them, but with someone with John Cena's standing and his prestige and his place in wrestling history, do you really think that Triple H was going to deprive him of making the decision of how he wants to end his career? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think everybody needs to just take a step back, take a deep breath, and really see this for what it was. It was John Cena thinking that he was doing the business right on his way out. Now, we could go back and forth and talk all day about who he could have done that against because, like I said in my previous video, Gunther did not need the rub from John Cena. Gunther is, unless the idea, because I thought about this some more after it happened, after the fact. Unless the idea is for Gunther to like go almost immediately into a program with Brock Lesnar, this doesn't make sense because if you're going to face Brock Lesnar, you have who defeated John Cena easily in their last match, it will make sense for you to beat John Cena prior to going into a match with Brock Lesnar. So that's just a little extra something for you to think about instead of being upset that Cena lost. Everything else aside, Cena, Gunther, that was a pretty damn good match. How I was initially upset too, because how did Gunther kick out of, and I don't know how many times it really was, but how he kicked out of multiple attitude adjustments, an attitude adjustment through the announce table, a super AA, how he kicked out of all that shit, I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. If you know, leave it in the comments because I don't fucking know how he did that. And it's going to be me talking more about that later in this show when it comes to AEW. So know that I'm not a hypocrite because I do not like when finishers are slutted out and overused and the person keeps kicking out. I just don't, I'm not a big fan of that. It's okay here and there, but all those attitude adjustments and him to keep kicking out, that was excessive. I do think there's an air of finality to John Cena's retirement. He tapped out smiling. Also had a problem with that. But I guess it was kind of more of like all right, you got me. You got me. I think that's what we're looking at, but in a moment, it felt like shit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. No nostalgia circus, which is what I thought we were going to get, to be honest. John Cena defeating the foreign threat. Like I said in my not predictions video, that's not what happened. He just straight out, he did what he said he was going to do. He made Cena quit. And that shit was crazy. But now that Cena's retirement is out of the way, we got to get back to the wrestling business as usual. And for that, I'm going to have to go back to Monday Night Raw, where we once again seen Jey Uso. Baby Jey. Baby Jey. We seen Baby Jey Uso get demoted. No, don't call it. We're going to call it what it is. It was a demotion. Because after bro threw his tantrum the prior week, this past week, he basically just went back to the tag division. Like, yeah, we go run it. We back. What happens if they don't win, though? Like, I can't imagine. And I was talking to Petey Stunt about this. I can't imagine that they're going to revisit Jey versus Jimmy Uso. They absolutely cannot do that. That match at WrestleMania, I forgot what it was, WrestleMania 40, 41. But the one they did in Philadelphia, they can't do that shit no more, dog. They can't. They can't do that no more. Don't even think about it. Because that shit was bad. That shit was bad. If you remember, go back and watch that match. For them to have wrestled together for so many years, for them to be teammates for so many years, they sure as hell didn't have chemistry. They had none. And this cannot be a situation where Jey Uso super kicks Jimmy and turns on him and they have a feud again. That would be worse than them going back to dominate the tag team division. That's worse than the demotion. It's horrible. And Rikishi ain't gonna like it. Rikishi ain't gonna like it. Talk, Rikishi. Yeah, Rikishi ain't gonna like that shit. And I'm gonna have to be on the same page with Rikishi this time. I ain't gonna like the shit either. Why with all these people around, you putting Jimmy and Jey Uso on the match together? So let's just hope that don't happen. Let's just hope that this is legitimately just either a demotion or a part of the story where Jey Uso continues to spiral towards becoming a heel. Because if he ends up in a feud with his brother, it's almost like they don't know what to do with him. So please don't revisit that. Please don't. Please don't. But anyway, yeah, Jey Uso and Jimmy, apparently they're back in the tag team division. Jey Uso still looked like he wanted to pout, but he internalized it this week. So that's good. And I mean, it was kind of crazy. And the more I talk about it, the more it just seems like they're speeding towards Jey versus Jimmy Uso, because Jimmy was in there saying, yeah, he lost to LA Knight. He didn't go far the last time in that tournament. He like kind of just, shitting on him. And Jey was just sitting there just boiling, doing his best to contain that pout, to contain Baby Jey. He was trying to keep Baby Jey in there. And Jimmy was just on and on and on. So I hope that was more of a comedic stick than a part of the build-up to lead to Jimmy versus Jey Uso, man. Please don't do that. Please, I'm begging you. We don't want to fucking see it. If somebody wants to see it, leave it in the comments. But I bet you there won't be one comment saying, I want to see Jimmy versus Jey Uso too. We don't want to see it. Another thing that's interesting that I found happened on Monday Night Raw was basically the interaction between Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Now, the week before I had said Liv was pulling the strings, Liv is running the show. And I still think that's the case for the most part. But this time there was a little bit of resistance, particularly from Raquel and for a lesser degree, Roxanne. See, Raquel, she challenged for the women's world title. She challenged Stephanie Vaquer. And Liv kind of wanted to know, like, hey, what's up? Why are you challenging for the women's world title? I'm trying to get that. You need to be in the women's tag division. And then Raquel was like, I got to run shit by you. And Liv was just like, you know what? No, it's good. You go ahead and, you go challenge her, me and Roxanne, to go for the tag team titles. And then Roxanne kind of was looking like, I got to tag with you? Like, so we'll see how that goes, man. I had predicted, which kind of contradicts me saying Liv is pulling the strings. I kind of predicted that we were going to see something where Dominic betrays Liv, because that just seems like Dominic's character. It's a playboy. See a scenario where you maybe get like a Judgment Day minus Liv, not minus Liv, a Judgment Day minus Raquel, Roxanne, and Dominic versus Liv, Finn, and JD McDonough. We'll see. But so far, they're not booking it like it's going in that direction. But it'll be interesting to see once we get to the point where Raquel and Liv are beefing, kind of. It'll be interesting to see if that's the direction that they go. Then we have to move on to NXT. We have to move on to NXT, where Really, the primary thing that happened there, honestly, was Ricky Saint's heel turn. Let me tell you something. I've kind of been waiting for that. Now, me, I'll be honest. I'm always straight with y'all about what I don't watch and what I do watch. And what I will say is that I'm not the most consistent NXT viewer, but I did see Ricky Saints turn heel. And the first thing I thought is finally, because him being a face just doesn't add anything. Him being he's a better heel than he is a face. And that's the case with a lot of guys. A lot of guys are better heels than they are faces. They're able to get their shit off more in their promos. They're able to like do more interesting things. When you're a baby face, particularly a white meat baby face, you go out there, you're kissing babies, you're shaking hands, you're high-fiving the fans, you're smiling. Like, it's too damn sappy sometimes, too damn campy. Like, we like to see dirt, we like to see grit, we like to see grind. That's how I like my heels to be, and it's good for Ricky Saints. Ricky Saints is able to lean more into his arrogance as a heel. He's able to talk more shit. His shit talking takes a leap. Everything takes a leap with Ricky Saints as a heel. What I do worry about, what I do kind of worry about though, is the trajectory of Ricky Saints once he does go to the main roster. Now, don't get me wrong. I thought the same thing about LA Knight. When I looked at LA Knight in NXT, I thought like when he was fighting people like Cameron Grimes and shit like that, I was like, this is cool for NXT. But there's no way in hell that this guy's going to get called up and be successful. Then they called LA Knight up, and next thing you know, he was motherfucking Max Dupree. And I was like, okay, so when's he getting released? When's he getting his release going to AEW? So when are we doing that? But then the best thing that could have ever happened to him happened. They got Vince out of there. He was able to go back to LA Knight. And now, despite losing all the fucking time and losing all his high stake matches, he's at least popular on the main roster. So the question is, are we going to get something similar from Ricky Saints? Because I do kind of feel like he's spinning his wheels a bit in NXT. Is he going to have a higher jump once he gets to the main roster? Another guy that happened to was Elias. Elias was a straight up jobber in NXT. Went up to the main roster and he carved out a nice little niche for himself. So, I mean, it's not impossible for somebody's profile to be one thing, then they go to the main roster and see their profile increase. So, I mean, and I could go on and on with that. Like, I remember, I thought Becky Lynch wasn't gonna be shit when she was at NXT and went up to the main roster. She was literally like the weakest of the four horsewomen. Like, I never could have fathomed her reaching the levels that she reached when she was in NXT. And it just goes on and on. So, I mean, you can take that jump once you get called up. But the story, more often than not, is that you don't take that jump. You end up just fucking blending into the background. So, I do feel like as a heel, Ricky Saints has a better chance of standing out. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see how all of that plays out. Like everything else this past week, most of everything had to circle around John Cena's retirement. But I'm going to take a different direction here for how things happened on this week's SmackDown. I think SmackDown was very much future oriented. A lot of stuff happened on SmackDown where I kind of feel like, you know, they were setting the groundwork to go forward in the future of WWE. And I'll say this, before we talk about the future, we got to talk about the present. And one thing I'm starting to get a little bit sick of is this Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre thing. Like, I've been past the point of not giving a shit about it. I've been past the point of not giving a shit about it. And now I don't know what it is, because I know I like Drew McIntyre. It just feels like he's involved in too much shit, or they keep retelling the same story over and 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 over again about fucking Drew McIntyre being mistreated, him thinking shit is unfair. It's just starting to get like, just give us what we fucking want. Just give us what we want. We've been asking for the Scottish Psychopath for like I don't know how many years, and he shows glimpses of the Scottish Psychopath, but for the most part, he's just fucking complaining the whole time. Like, let's diversify this character a little bit. Cody is already stale by itself. You keep putting him in matches and feuds with Drew McIntyre, that shit is beyond stale. That shit is molded and falling apart. Like we can't keep going to the well in this Cody Drew thing. So I just want to talk about the present real quick, man, because that shit been played out. Ilya Dragunov. Look, man. Look, man. Y'all motherfuckers is gonna stop disrespecting Ilya Dragunov. I'm on social media all the time. Every time I turn a fucking corner on social media, y'all talking shit about Dragunov. What the fuck is it about Dragunov that you motherfuckers have a problem with? What is it? He's too intense? That's his fucking character. He's a dragon. He's a dragon. Dragons are intense. Is it his wrestling abilities? No. Motherfucker's a phenomenal wrestler. He's a phenomenal wrestler. Then this past week, he was beaten to a bloody pulp. That shit was fucking great. That was great. If it happened in AEW, it would be fucking getting fanfare left and right. Dragunov, man, I'm gonna tell you this, man. If it's WWE fans complain about Dragunov, y'all got a lot of fucking nerve. You got a lot of nerve. I don't want to hear shit bad about Dragunov. Don't talk about Dragunov. How about that? Just keep Dragunov's name out your mouth. How about that? Because I'm telling you right now, Dragunov will be fucking eating in AEW right now with the way he fucking wrestles, just his whole fucking thing. That motherfucker will be in a Continental Classic, fucking 6 wins. He'll probably have national, international, intergalaxy. Man, I'm telling you. And y'all need a guy like, say what you want about AEW. And oh yeah, they do a bunch of flips and it's always bleeding and blah. Say what you want about AEW. And trust me, anybody watching any of my videos, anybody that follows me on social media, you know I'm not an AEW stan. I talk shit about AEW when it's deserved. When it's deserved. I'm the last thing you would call an AEW defender. But WWE needs a few guys that has that AEW in them. I'm sorry. Dragunov. He got that AEW in him. Gunther. Gunther, he's got that AEW in him. You could put Gunther in matches with Claudio. You could put him in there with Okada. You could put him in there with all of them. He'll sit there and have an epic wrestling match. He called himself a professional wrestler. Gunther got the AEW in him. You want to do Spot Fest? Okay. Javon Evans, Leon Slater. They got that, even though Leon Slater's in TNA. They got the AEW. You need guys like that. That's why this whole shit about, oh yeah, AEW this, WWE is that. That's why it never made sense. Because you got guys in AEW who just are purely entertainment-based wrestlers, that sports entertainers. You got guys in WWE who are professional wrestlers, who are fucking high flyers. Everybody is everybody. There's no fucking difference to a degree. Yeah, there's some little small differences, but for the most part, there's no fucking difference as far as the performance. But keep Dragunov's name out your mouth. I'm sick of people talking shit about Dragunov. People talking about, oh, he's too intense. And then on the flip side, they talking about he has no charisma. Which one is it? Which one is it? So so I'm just had to drop that about Dragunov real quick, man. Y'all piss me off. Speaking of that, this whole thing with Carmelo, Dragunov, Ciampa, that's another person. I don't hear people talking shit about Ciampa, but if it's one thing I know, if they decide to elevate Ciampa up the card, he can handle it. They have not been maximizing Tommaso Ciampa at his best abilities. They uttered the name Sicilian Psychopath this past Friday. They need to lean into that. They need to lean into the psychopaths. Scottish psychopath, Sicilian psychopath. They need to lean into all the psychopaths. They need to lean into all of them. Okay. But Ciampa, they should have been elevated that man. They should have been did something to where they could retell that Ciampa Gargano story on the main roster. But in order for them to do that, they have to elevate Ciampa and they have to elevate Gargano. and they've kind of just been there. But Ciampa being involved in this feud, okay, don't hear what I'm not saying. To still a term used by my co-host on Let's Talk Dynasty, Andrew Mott. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that Dragunov, Ciampa, and Carmelo Hayes are the new Angle, Jericho, and Benoit. I'm not saying that. I swear I'm not saying that. Yeah, I uttered the name Benoit. So what? I'm not saying that. But it reminds me of it. It reminds me of the Attitude Era when those three were feuding over Intercontinental title. And it was just a fucking constant back and forth dogfight between the three of them. And that belt just kept changing hands between the three of them. And then eventually you moved in guys like William Regal. And for some reason, at some point, fucking Val Venus got involved. I don't fucking know. At some point, Val Venus got involved. But it reminds me of that. And they need to keep leaning into that. Maybe Dragunov lose the belt to Carmelo. Carmelo lose the belt to Ciampa. Ciampa lose the belt back to Carmelo. Carmelo Dragunov beats Carmelo for the belt. And you man, just do that shit for a year. And by the time you come out on the other end of it, you'll be able to plug and play whichever one of those three guys into the main event scene at the bottom of the main event scene, but the main event scene nonetheless. And I'm telling you now, it'll be more entertaining than fucking Drew Cody every fucking week. I'm telling you that now. I'm gonna get to Saturday night main event, but I do want to address Obafemi's promo against Cody Rhodes. And if you ever wanted somebody to appear on the main roster for the first time and show everybody they're a fucking star, go back and look at how Obafemi looked when he cut that promo on Cody. He cut that promo on Cody. I immediately got down, sat down, got in front of a microphone, and told you that Obafemi was finna beat the shit out of Cody Rhodes at Saturday night's main event. I'm gonna get to it in a second. Just hold on. Just hold the fuck on. I'm gonna get to it in a second. But I would have told you based on that promo, he was gonna beat the shit out of Cody. Go back and watch that promo. I just wanted to just throw that in there real quick because I think the concerns I had about Obafemi going to the main roster, he between what he said on SmackDown and what he did at Saturday night's main event, I'm pretty. My concerns. I have way less concerns than I did before. Real shit. Saturday night's main event. Oh man. Okay, man. Saturday night's main event. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. I don't know what the fuck they was smoking. I just start the top of the night, man. You got Cody Rhodes and Obafemi, right? It was clear. It was clear as fucking day. Obafemi was beating the living shit out of Cody Rhodes. He was beating the living shit out of him. Cody Rhodes, like Dragunov got the living, like looked like he got the living shit beat out of him on SmackDown. Cody Rhodes looked like he got his ass whooped in a bar fight. Luckily for Obafemi, the way that fucking match ended, luckily for Obafemi, that moment happened. Luckily, they had Obafemi bloody Cody the fuck up because now Obafemi's not going to suffer from the stupid, dumb-headed, dipshit, dumbass ending that they had where fucking Drew McIntyre just got in the ring and fucking attacked Cody. That shit was so fucking stupid. Like, really a fucking disqualification. So here's the worst part. Obafemi lost. He basically lost because Drew fucking attacked Cody. Like, man, I ain't even finna fucking lie. They could have did a double count out and that shit would have been better. They could have did a double fucking count out and that shit would have been better. You had Drew McIntyre just attack Cody. Like, fuck the win, fuck the, like, and then I guess they justification was, well, Drew interfered in the match. Yeah, Obafemi lost, but Obafemi he got his receipt on Drew because he was able to attack Drew and do. No, man, it's still a fucking loss is a loss. Thank God he bloodied up Cody because if that shit would have happened without the visual of Cody bleeding from the ear and fucking mouth, it would have just been Obafemi loses his first main roster match. And he did, but he still beat the shit out of the WWE champion. And then he beat up the fucking the contender for the WWE championship. So I guess we could take that away. Then fucking we had Sol Ruka and Bailey. Nothing went wrong. Thankfully, they got one thing right. And goddamn my not predictions right now. Goddamn them. Goddamn my not predictions. Forget what I said in my not predictions video. Forget what I said in that video. Because as I watched the show, my mind started to change about certain shit. That one though is one that I thought should happen, and it did happen. Sol Ruka had to win against Bailey. Bailey loses fucking nothing from losing to Sol Ruka. They'll both go on to their respective brands. They'll both go on to their continued storylines, and that'll be that. Don't know why Sol Ruka and Zarya are still, why that betrayal hasn't happened yet, but whatever. But they'll go back to their respective brands, so that worked out. Now, this match right here is one that my mind changed during the fucking match. In my not predictions video, I said that there's no way Javon Evans and Leon Slater is beating AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. There's no way. But I'll be damned if as that match continued on, I start to fucking believe. I start to believe. Not only did I start to believe that Javon Evans and Leon Slater was going to win the match, I start to say, you know what? They should win the fucking match. They should win. And now that they lost the match, now I'm mad. Why am I mad? I'm mad because them losing the match made me sit back and think, damn, every single time Javon Evans gets an opportunity to do something big, he fucking loses. Every fucking time. Every time he loses. Like, won an Iron Survivor match, lost to Obafemi. Fucking fought AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, lost that match. Now I could be blindfolded and fucking write that into a storyline. And I think Michael Cole even alluded to it. Like, Javon Evans, since he's young and he's youthful, he takes more chances. He doesn't wait to the best time to challenge Obafemi for the title. He goes right into fighting. He goes right into, who the fuck did he fight on SmackDown? Who did he fight on SmackDown? The Miz. He goes right into a match with The Miz, which he won on SmackDown. And then he goes right into a tag match with Leon Slater against AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Like, he's just going. And it could just be the story of him learning how to slow shit down, maturing, and then picking the right opportunities to win something. And they might fucking, I think it'd be a mistake to have him turn heel just to do that, but because he doesn't have a heel sense to me right now. Him as a heel, I usually don't feel this about wrestlers. I usually feel like if you become a heel, you good. But when it comes to him, I don't feel a heel turn would feel right on him at this point in time. So, yeah, man, the young man needs to just slow it down. The young OG need to slow it down, and he'll start winning some of those big time matches, getting some titles and shit like that. So, we're gonna revisit this for the final time because we're talking about Saturday Night Main Event. That means we talking about John Cena hitting 5 variations of fucking attitude adjustments on Gunther and fucking losing, tapping out at that, smiling. Don't get me wrong. I like to look at myself as, I get emotional sometimes as a fan, like, excited, but I always try, because I'm also like a writer, I always try to understand the writing aspect to wrestling, before I go straight into the fan reaction to wrestling. The writing aspect of wrestling. John Cena tapped out the Gunther. Now, I'm pretty damn sure the idea was John Cena giving back to the business that made him by putting over a younger guy and going out to that younger guy, basically saying, this is it. It has double meaning. He wasn't just tapping out to Gunther. He was tapping out to the business of wrestling. He was tapping out to his career. It's the end of his career. I think that was the symbology in John Cena tapping out. I think that's what they were trying to go for. The problem is, you had an arena full of people who grew up watching Cena. So they were kids and now they're adults watching Cena. You had an arena full of kids that still love John Cena. You had an arena full of, I'm pretty sure the wrestlers knew what was up. They might not, all of them might not have known the results, but they knew that this was John Cena, like giving back to the business. But I'm talking about the fans. Those fans were fucking crushed when he lost. Those fans were crushed. And I understand symbology and shit like that in writing, but John Cena has been wrestling for like what, 20, 25, like 25, 20 plus years. Those fans were there. Like, sometimes you got to send the fans home fucking happy. Vince McMahon understood that. He really did. And for John Cena to lose his last match, that's kind of just, for him, I think that's good closure. But for the fans, they'll never have that closure that they needed for his career. They'll never have it. Me, I'm good. I I feel like I understand what the message was that they were trying to portray. But those little kids, they don't understand it. All they understand is that John Cena lost and he's never going to wrestle again. And the last time he seen it was him giving up. Yeah, he got the celebration after, but I'm sorry, that shit felt empty. It felt empty as the respect level for Triple H after the match because everybody fucking blamed Triple H. Petey Stump blamed Triple H. Everybody pointed the finger at Triple H. But I don't think this is Triple H's call. I think this is John Cena's call. And I think they gave John Cena the respect that he earned to decide how he wanted to end shit. Simple as that. We don't gotta agree with it, but if that's what Cena wanted, I just wish that Cena would have thought more about what those fans that were watching him for 20 something years wanted to see on his way out. Now, I'll let the rest of the fucking content creator wrestler space talk shit about it, talk shit about the booking, talk shit about how poor John Cena's farewell tour were, and it was a poor farewell tour. I'll let them talk about that, but I at least want to say that I understood the symbology of him tapping out to Gunther. I didn't agree with it, but I understood it. And another thing that I understand is that sometimes you'll be tired watching wrestling, making content about wrestling, and you need a little pickup. And that's where today's sponsor comes in.
I'm so tired. What am I going to do?
Quick shout out to our sponsor, W Energy. If you need focus without the sugar crash, this is that clean energy option. No jitters, no weird aftertaste. I use it when I'm ending or recording late. If you want to try it, use my code MFG DeeZ. That's MFG DEEZ at the checkout. Appreciate W for supporting the show. Now let's get back to this wrestling content.
Okay, let's talk about AEW. Now that we got WWE out the way, let's talk about AEW. So, Swerve Strickland. To me, Swerve Strickland is one of the primary assets that AEW has. And with that being the case, why fuck around with Swerve Strickland? Why? Swerve Strickland, why fuck with his music? I'm pretty sure it was Swerve Strickland's call to change his music, but I'm telling you, that new music, I'm not saying the new music ain't good, but I'm talking about the aura of Swerve Strickland coming out. I like the old music better, man. It just hit different, man. I felt like him with new music made me feel like I was watching a lesser wrestler come to the ring. Like the arrogance and fucking like dominance of his old thing just fit him more. And this new version of the music that I'm pretty sure he made, that shit was just, I don't know, man. It just hit different. It hit different. Why fuck around with Swerve Strickland? Why fuck around with him? Why put Swerve Strickland in a tag match with Hangman Page on this past week's Dynamite? I get it. I get it. You know, frenemies, and it's not the first time they had to be on the same team. I get it. But they better enemies than frenemies, goddamn it. And overall, everything. I don't really have an issue with him teaming with Hangman Page. Just don't make that shit a habit. Don't make them being on the same team a fucking habit. That should have been a one-off. I have an issue with Swerve Strickland being in tag team matches, period. Now, they cleaned it up a little bit on Collision. He was able to go against Josh Alexander, beat him up, get his victory, put his ticket in to fight Samoa Joe. So now apparently it's going to be Hangman Page, Strickland, and Samoa Joe fighting for the AEW title. That's fine. That sounds like a wonderful match at Worldland. That sounds fine. But let's not fuck around with Swerve Strickland, man. In fact, if y'all really want to do something, put that belt back on Swerve Strickland. Have him beat Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe could lose and win the title whenever the fuck he wants to. Like, for a transitional champion, and I don't mean that in a derogatory sense as Samoa Joe is a transitional champion. Samoa Joe is a perfect bridge from one person having the title to another one. Hangman had it. Joe had it. I think you should put it on Strickland now. Put it back on Strickland. Because I'm telling you, if when it's all said and done, Swerve Strickland only has like 2 fucking AEW title reigns, I don't want to hear shit else about, oh yeah, AEW, they support the black wrestler. Because really, in reality, they don't. So to me, Swerve had 1 token title reign. And I like getting into all that racial bullshit. But it's just the fact that I'm going based on what the fans say. The fans say, oh yeah, AEW is this, big, black people. Like, but in reality, no, not really. They're the same as WWE. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no like the fucking same. I mean, I don't know. Like, people be trying to stretch and make shit something is not. It's the same. Like, there's no company that treats one group of people better than the other one. It's just the same shit. But yeah, man, Swerve. Bro, I'm not saying that new theme sucks because I don't think it does suck. I couldn't barely fucking hear it. Like I like listening to fucking lyrics, so I mean I couldn't hear the fucking song itself. But one thing I know for sure is that it didn't hit like the old thing, man. He need to bring that old thing back, bro. That old thing was just something different. It was something different, man. Okay. Explain this to me. I'm gonna say that a few times in this AEW segment. Explain this to me. Okay, Claudio and Takeshita. Okay, they had a great match. Great, fine. Explain to me why Claudio's the CMLL champion. Now I get it. People from one promotion becomes a champion of the promotion all the time. All different kinds of people won the IWGP title. I get it. But Claudio having the CMLL title doesn't make fucking sense. I'm sorry. Takeshita having the IWGP title, that makes fucking sense. Dominic Mysterio having the AAA title, that makes fucking sense. Claudio Castagnoli having the CMLL title does not make fucking sense. Like, it seems like when you're sleeping, when you're in your bed sleeping at night, motherfuckers in AEW is just going off winning titles in other companies. That doesn't make fucking sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, maybe I missed something, but when I'll be real close to calling him Cesaro. When Claudio fucking came out and he had a belt around him, I said, oh, what belt does he have? Because, belts just appear on wrestlers in AEW. You don't really have a clear clue on how the fuck they won the belt, but they just appear. So I said, okay, what does he have? The Ring of Honor title? Does he has one of the new titles, the AEW? What is that? They said the CMLL or heavyweight champion. I said, what the fuck? Wait a minute. Why does Claudio have the CMLL title? Imagine that's like fucking Sheamus having a AAA title, the AAA mega title. It doesn't make fucking sense. Like, and I'm not saying, oh yeah, if you want to win this belt, you gotta be Mexican. If you want to win this belt, you gotta be Japanese. I'm not saying that. It's particularly if I was a CMLL fan, I would have an issue with Claudio having the CMLL title. Like, and one thing I hate about wrestling fans and all that tribalism bullshit is like the fucking double standard. So because fans like to say, AEW fans love to say, oh yeah, well, WWE, they on TNA, they on AAA, they just going there taking their titles and shit. So you don't see these fucking people on AEW with fucking titles from New Japan Pro Wrestling and titles from CMLL. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? It doesn't make fucking sense. Like, yeah, Takeshita and Claudio, they had a fucking excellent match. Look, I'm gonna say this again. I've said this in old videos. I do not judge AEW by the quality of fucking match. I know AEW can do that. I know AEW can put on banger matches after banger match. I know they can do that. What AEW can't do is have people go out there and cut promos to where it gets you invested. What AEW can't do is write consistent storyline and do good episodic storytelling. They can't do that. They could put on great match after great match. So I don't judge AEW by that. Just like I don't judge WWE by fucking them telling stories. I judge WWE by what story are you telling? Are you still telling the same story after 6 months? Are you still talking about Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre after 6 months? Like, yeah, WWE can tell a story. AEW can't. WWE storylines get stale and they keep redoing them over and over. AEW gets lost in the fucking woods and says, what is the storyline? Like, that's how it goes. But back to this doesn't make fucking sense. Claudio's a great wrestler. Him having a CMLL title doesn't make fucking sense. Like, I can't say that anymore. Now they're gonna have to find somebody with credibility who's in CMLL, who's good enough to take the belt from Claudio. And that's probably not going to make fucking sense either, because whoever they put against them isn't going to seem like they're good enough to take the fucking belt from them. So it's just fucking stupid. Speaking of fucking stupid. Explain to me, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Explain to me how Mark Briscoe against Daniel Garcia. Explain to me how he got kicked in the nuts by Wheeler Yuta, hit with a pile driver, and then kicked out. And this is the shit I'm talking about. Do people not understand that the pile driver is supposed to be like one of the ultimate finishers? I'm not even talking about finishing move, because you can kick out of a fucking look. There was a time where if you get hit with a fucking pile driver, you're off of TV for months. WWE banned the pile driver. But here we are now, AEW, not only did Daniel Garcia hit Mark Briscoe with a fucking pile driver after he got kicked in the nuts. Not only he hit him with a pile driver, he damn near got right back on. He damn near no-sold the pile driver after he kicked out, got up and hit Dan Garcia with his own power driver, because his finishing move is a power driver, basically. Hit him with his own power driver and then pinned him for the 1, 2, 3. That shit just doesn't fucking make sense, man. It doesn't fucking make sense. Power driver, so when I grew up on wrestling, and I ain't talking about the 90s, the 80s, and no shit like that. I'm talking about Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era. That's the wrestling era where I grew up in. In that era, if you hit a motherfucker, okay, you got your signature move, like, 5-knuckle shuffle, for example, John Cena edition. You got your finishing move, fucking attitude adjustment. Now the next level up from that is the fatality move, like the move where I'm trying to end your career, I'm trying to put you on a shelf for some months, I'm taking you off the TV. That's what the fucking power driver was for. You drop somebody down their head. If you hit somebody in the street with a power driver right now, you could possibly go to prison for life. That's the power driver. And you trying to tell me that not only did this dude get kicked in his nuts, he got hit with the power driver, a move that's meant to tell people, oh, it's time for him to go to the hospital. You kicked right out. You got up. You hit the other guy with a power driver, and he's gonna be fine next week too. Come on now, man. Come on now. The shock kickouts all the time fucking ruins the formula. It ruins the formula. Like, we're already supposed to suspend belief, but you want us to suspend belief of suspending belief. Like, it doesn't make sense. Tighten the shit up, make it make sense. Like, AEW can't bandy about and say, oh yeah, we're the wrestling company, we're the real wrestling company, we're the real, like, and all that shit, but then have some goofy shit that doesn't make philosophical sense during the match. That don't make sense. It don't make sense. That's like fucking a cartoon Bugs Bunny hitting fucking Daffy Duck with a frying pan in his head, and his hand flattens, and then it goes back to his regular size, and then he's just walking around singing. Like, that's what it is. Like, you got hit with a power drive and you get right the fuck back up. So you mean to tell me you got kicked in the nuts too? You mean to tell me your nuts don't hurt? You mean to tell me that your neck and your head don't hurt? Like, it don't make sense, man. And so, whatever. That shit don't make sense. Our last segment for today, because we already addressed the big thing, our big, go home point that we usually make at the end of the show. We made it at the beginning of the show, the John Cena shit. So this is the last segment for today. AEW's women's division. And I know AEW probably feel like this episode and every episode that I've been hard on them. This is what I'll say about the AEW women's division. There's so much potential there. As far as the wrestlers, and yeah, people will be like, oh, well, look at that moonsault with Julia Hart. Like, that's one person doing one move fucking one time, like, whatever. But when you take the overall women's division, it's grown leaps and bounds from where it was in 2019. Leaps and bounds. I feel like in 2019, there's like fucking 4 women's wrestlers on the show. Now there's women's wrestlers everywhere, and a lot of them can fucking wrestle. So the athletes are good. The matches are improving. Where they do need to start getting better at, they do need to cut promos, because honestly, the promo level of the women in AEW are like fucking Tubi movies. Like, I was watching that segment with Jamie Hayter and Chris Statlander. Like, I want that title. Oh, yeah? Well, you know where to find me. I'll be right here. Matter of fact, I'll put out a sign. And it just sounds like the fucking just promo work is just horrible. Like, the voice inflection is bad. Just like the believability is bad. Like, it just seems like bad acting. Like, so I mean, not just plain bad acting, but bad acting. And of course that sucks. So that is somewhere where they need to improve. So I feel like where the ring work was here, now it's here. I feel like the promos are here. They need to get at least here. And of course, the storylines are inconsistent, but that's a problem that stretches beyond just the women's division in AEW. That stretches across the entirety of AEW. So those two areas need to get better, but I did want to give kudos to AEW's women's division, anchored by women like Mercedes Moné, Toni Storm, Chris Statlander, and there's many more. Even the women's tag team division is starting to get better. So they have a lot of good anchors there. Honestly, to be honest, they don't even need Britt Baker to come back at this point. I think they're good. So just keep building, just get them promos up, and then AEW's women's division will continue to thrive. I would honestly say between NXT, WWE, AEW, and some of the other promotions around the world, I do think the women's wrestling in general is actually on the upswing. So that's good for wrestling overall. Yay, women's division. All right. That's going to be it for today's show. John Cena is gone. WWE is building things up. AEW feels like it has the pieces. It just has to organize the pieces into the puzzle more neatly, more refined, and then AEW will be back on track. But like I always say, you probably got to get Tony Khan to stop being involved in the writing and do that. But I digress. So that's kind of just going to be where we're going to go from here. It was a great show. And we're going to see you for episode 9. And we're going to have a crazy week of wrestling ahead. I think the year is going to end in a bang. I think we're going to see some surprises. So we'll see. I'm MFG DeeZ. Once again, we out of here. That's a wrap.
Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie.